Hey everyone, this is Jedi Sith Hunter 66, and today we got a bit of a different video going on. I'm going to be ranking all of the songs from the SmackDown vs. Raw and WWE 2K soundtracks. I'm going to share my screen because this is going to be a tier list. I actually made this tier list on tierlist.com because I couldn't find um, the tier list. So let's get this up and going. All right, so we got 178 songs here, so this is going to be pretty massive. Um, as far as probably going to take me a long time to go through these, but we got S through F. So I'm a firm believer that the original soundtracks, like in the SmackDown versus Raw games, are far better than the WWE 2K ones, and I'll explain why as we go. But so we start here with looks like the Core by the Angle. This is from the original SmackDown versus Raw. Now, the first SmackDown versus Raw, which came out in the end of 2004, it was the first time that there was a actual soundtrack. Because before that, in games like Here Comes the Pain, there was just kind of generic like background rock noise or hip hop beats or things of that nature. So this is the soundtrack with the most songs. It had 15 songs. The original SmackDown vs. Raw had some really classic songs, really enjoyable soundtrack overall. But so for this specific song, I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's good. I like it. It's just it's a little bit generic and it's kind of dated. It just sounds like a typical like new metal song from the early 2000s, but good performances overall with the vocals. I like the guitar riffs and stuff. It's nothing special, but it's fun and it's good for a wrestling game. All right, so now we've got Animal I Have Become from SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. This is by 3 Days Grace. Thanks to this game, I've become a big fan of 3 Days Grace. Well, mainly their earlier albums. So this is an easy S tier for me. I mean, this is such an iconic song. Um, Adam Gautier's vocal performance is incredible, and the riff is very memorable, and it rocks hard, but it also has a deep meaning and stuff. So this is a classic song. I think SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 had the best soundtrack of any WWE game. I mean, every song on there is a banger. Um, yeah, this is just such a creative song, and though it very much sounds like a 2000s sort of song, it's great for a wrestling game and just very fun overall. All right, so now we got Passion by AWOL Nation. I think this is from WWE 2K19, I'm gonna say. To be quite honest, I don't really remember this song too much. I like a few of AWOL Nation's songs, um, like the hits and stuff. I know they're more of an alternative band. I don't really remember enjoying it that much. I'm gonna put it like an E tier. It's not like horrible or anything, but just really didn't leave an impression on me. All right, now we got 99 by Barnes Courtney. I think this is from WWE 2K20. I mean, honestly, I'd kind of just put it in the same category as AWOL Nation one because I barely remember it. I don't remember liking it that much. You're gonna notice a trend here that a lot of the like later songs in the 2K games I'm not that big a fan of. Um, all right, so now we got Concerts for Aliens by Machine Gun Kelly. This is from W2K22. And this is when I think they had like three MGK tracks on this, and man, I cannot stand this guy. So I'm putting this song in D tier. I mean, like, if it was any other artist, it really could have been a B tier because the songwriting's pretty good and it's a good like throwback to like 2000s rock and stuff. But this guy's such a poser and so untalented. That's always gonna take points off. Um, the vocal delivery kind of sucks, but it's a well written song and it's kind of enjoyable for what it is, I guess. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst thing I ever heard, so D tier feels appropriate. Alright, now we got Sad But True by Metallica, which was just featured in WWE 2K23. Um, Now I knew about this song long before, this game came out. Metallica is one of my all-time favorite bands, so this is gonna go on S tier too. I mean, this is just a fantastic song, super heavy. They do it really good live, but as far as the studio version, it packs a punch, but it's not like speed metal like they usually do. They really changed on the Black Album, but they created some really groovy songs, and this is a great example of that. I mean, Metallica and wrestling go hand in hand because Metallica's the kind of band that gets you pumped up and stuff. So um, I mean, great idea including them on the soundtrack. I mean, and for a song that's over 30 years old, it feels like quite modern. Like just really cool riffs, and James Hetfield's vocals are really on point on the Black Album in general. All right, now we got Welt by AM Conspiracy. Now, there's not going to be too many songs in S tier. Um, so I don't want you guys to think I'm over uh, utilizing that category. And as this ranking goes on, I might change some songs around, but this song here is an S tier for me. I'm trying not to let nostalgia influence me too much because, okay, this was in SmackDown versus Raw 2008, and that's one of my like favorite wrestling video games of all time. I had so much fun with that one. Very underrated game. The soundtrack's great too. Now, um, the lead vocalist of this band was in the band Drowning Pool for a little bit, and he had a pretty decent album with them. I like his style. I think he has a lot of charisma, much like Dave Williams did. And yeah, this song has a great riff, and though you could kind of say it's like generic new metal once again, um, I don't know, this one really resonates with me. I feel like there's very powerful performances, and though the band itself is good, the vocalist really carries this song and leaves quite an impression. I think Walt's one of the best songs on the game, actually. And it just so happens we're on to another S tier now. You Make Me Sick by Egypt Central from SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Um, Now, I checked out this entire album from them because I really like the songs in this game, but I wasn't too impressed with a whole lot of their songs. I mean, um, I think the two songs featured in SVR 09 are their best stuff. This is their best song, in my opinion. I mean, very emotional, hard hitting. You could say it's kind of cliche, but and it doesn't necessarily fit in a wrestling video game, but I really like the lyrics. They're moving, and it's just a good tune. The vocalist has talent and stuff, so really good song. Definitely special to me, and nostalgia may have influenced that one. All right, so now Hero by Skillet. This is from SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. And yeah, this is another banger. I'm putting it in A tier. Um, this is probably my favorite Skillet song, actually. I know they've had a lot of good jams over the years, but yeah, I find this song quite like inspirational. Like, I'm not like religious or anything, but um, I do like the hopeful nature of the song, and it feels really intense and powerful, and just a really nice song that hits you in the feels for sure. More melodic for Skillet standards. All right, so now, so this is interesting. So with SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, they did away with the traditional soundtracks, and they had some superstar entrance themes in the background, but they also had like stock music from this company called APM. And I mean, unlike games in the early 2000s, for generic background music, like this shit hits hard. It's like really good rock instrumentals that are surprisingly intricate and well thought out, um, and very well layered. So, um, there was like 7 of them in this game, and out of the bunch, Cage Fight is my favorite. It's an S tier. I mean, this one's not just influenced by nostalgia. The guitar leads on this are incredible. It's really heavy thrash metal with a nice, like, melodic section in the middle. Just, um, I can't praise the song enough. Whoever composed it, I'm not even quite sure, but, um, Cage Fight is some awesome stuff for sure. Um, seems like we're getting all the S tiers early because here is another S tier, Zero Visibility by Rise Against. Rise Against, another awesome band. I'm a big fan of them. I actually discovered them not through 2K15, but through SVR07, which we'll get to that later. But you know, on an album that wasn't really well received, called the Black Market, I think this is definitely one of the best cuts on there. Glad it made it into the game. It was one of the only real rock songs on 2K15 because they started like changing the soundtrack style to more like hip hop and that sort of thing. Um, but I like this song because it's very progressive. There's a lot of different parts, and there's some parts where it's heavier. There's some softer parts. The lyrics are really resonant. I mean, Rise Against is usually a political band, but these seem like more emotionally impactful lyrics, and I can appreciate that. And I don't know. I felt like it's a song that was creative and outside the box for them, and it's probably in my top 10 favorite Rise Against songs. And nobody ever talks about this one. I think it's great for sure. So, definite S tier there. All right, now, Heavy Dirty Soul by 21 Pilots. This is on WWE 2K16. I'm not that big a fan of 21 Pilots. I think they're massively overrated and maybe too experimental for their own good. Well, I say that, but at the same time, they're kind of generic too. So I don't know. They're kind of a mess. I don't want to shit on them too much. But as far as this song, it's really good. I'm giving it an A tier. I mean, this is a super fun song. I mean, kind of like with Zero Visibility, I kind of like how it's like three different songs in one. You got the rap verses, which is very different than the fun and upbeat chorus, and then the maybe more melancholy, sort of depressing bridge. I like the different like feels throughout the song and stuff. So um I think it's creative. The chorus, it can get a little old and repetitive, but I don't know. Maybe I've just grown used to it. Once again, this is definitely my favorite 21 Pilot song. I mean, the bar's not very high. There's not too many songs I like by them, but um, yeah, this one definitely gets a pass for me. All right, so now this is What About the Rest of Us by Action Bronson. And I'm going to be totally honest, I do not remember this song. I'm assuming it's from one of the later games. Um, if it's a rap song, I'm going to assume that I didn't like it very much. It's most likely F tier, and there's too many songs here where I'm not going to check for every specific one. Um, Now we got Superstars by Styles of Beyond. This is from the original SVR. Um, I mean, it's a good song. Like, I first heard of this band. They had a collaboration with Linkin Park, a song called "It's Going Down," which just I enjoyed. Yeah, I'll put this in C tier with the core. I mean, it's fun, chill background music, good beats and stuff. I mean, the talent's there, but it's not like great or anything. And now we got a Kanye West song, so that's obviously going in F tier. I don't need to say anything more there. Pieces by Dark New Day. This is from SVR06. I like it. I kind of would put it in the same category as like the core, where it's just like a generic new metal song, but it's fun. It's good for a wrestling game. Um, I don't think SVR06 had the best soundtrack in general. I mean, once again, it was too focused on like the hip hop rap sort of genres. I feel like the songs weren't that memorable in that game for the most part. Um, I'm gonna rearrange some of these because I want to put them in order as best I can, like an S tier. So out of these, yeah, my favorite's probably Animal I've Become. Yeah, that seems about right. Alright, now we got Riot by 3 Days Grace, okay, so this is also from SVR or 7. I don't like it as much as Animal I've Become, so it's going in A tier. I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think for a 3 Days Grace song, it's not really that emotionally impactful, and lyrically, it's kind of weak, but you just can't deny what a banger of a tune it is. Great riff, um, a great song for a wrestling game, gets you fired up and stuff. When Worlds Collide, Power Man 5000, this was like definitely the song that played the most in the original SVR. Um, I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think if it weren't for like finding it through wrestling, I don't think it's a song I would ever listen to. Um, it reminds me of like Rob Zombie, and I hate Rob Zombie, or at least his music. But there's some. It's not really that interesting, like instrumentally, but it's just a fun song to vibe to, I guess, in the context of wrestling. And it's become pretty iconic as like it's the first song that plays on the menu and stuff. So some good memories associated with it. So that probably bumps it up a bit. Um, and so now we got Survival by Eminem. Um, I mean, I'm not the biggest Eminem fan in the world. I like some of his earlier material, but as far as this song, I really was not feeling it, and I'm curious as to why they even put it in the game. They could have picked like any Eminem jam, and it would have been better than this. But it's not like terrible. I'll put it like in low D tier. All right, now we got "Gimme" by Banks, which I actually remember this one. This is from WWE 2K20. It's not bad. I mean, put it in like high D tier. Hey, at least I remember it. It kind of reminds me of like um I don't know, it's just some sort of like electronic song. It's not bad. Now we got Body Bag by Machine Gun Kelly. Now this one's worse than Concerts for Aliens. This is going in E tier. Um it might be a passable song if it had any other vocalist, you know what I mean? Like he got the formula down, obviously, of writing like generic rock songs, but the performances are very weak. All right, so now we got "Can't Stop" by Red Hot Chili Peppers. This was also featured in the newest game, 2K23. I like Red Hot Chili Peppers quite a bit. They're a really solid band. They might even be in my top 25 bands of all time. Not 100% sure on that, but this is not their strongest track. Put it like in C tier. Um, It's kind of, like, generic for, like, a wrestling game soundtrack standard. It's not that interesting. It's kinda fun, but for Red Hot Chili Peppers, this is it's pretty much as run of the mill as it gets. I don't even know why it became such a big hit, but I don't hate it or anything. Alright, now we got "Right on Time" by AM Conspiracy. This is a definite S tier right along with Welt. I like it even better than Welt. Because while Welt is pretty much just a dumb rock song at the end of the day, this song, it tells an interesting story. It has good lyrics. It's um, definitely meaningful lyrically. Has a great guitar solo, which you don't see much in new metal, so that's cool. It's a little more melodic. I just think it's a very well written song, and I have a lot of great memories hearing it while playing SVR08, especially like on GM mode because when you're like arranging the matches and stuff, that song came on quite a bit, but I never got tired of it. But all right, so now "Taking You Down" by this is the other Egypt Central song from SVR09, and I like it quite a bit. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I contemplated putting it in S, but it's not as good as "You Make Me Sick." Although, um, back when like 'cause I grew up with, like, a PS3 and stuff, and, like, my gamer tag, it literally said, "Taking you down" after this song, so I was really into this one back in the day. Um, the guitars are really unique and interesting. I like the harmonic solo about 2 minutes into the song. Um, it's a really good, like, defiant song in the sense that, like, um it's great when you don't feel like taking people's shit no more, basically, so it's a fun song. Again, perfect for a wrestling game. That's how a lot of these are being judged too, is if they worked in the context of being in a wrestling game soundtrack. Alright, so now we got Monster by Skillet. This one has grown off me quite a bit. I loved it when I was a kid, but, it's very derivative and kinda boring. I'm putting it in C tier. Um, it sounds, like, nearly identical to Animal I've Become to the point that, at least conceptually, it was probably ripped off. I The vocal performance is solid. I mean, the production sounds great, but it's just missing something. I mean, it works in the game, but it's kinda overshadowed by Hero in a way. I just feel like it's kinda basic, you know what I mean? Alright, so on to Judgment Day. This is another, SVR instrumental, but once again, it's great. Um, I'm putting it in A tier. I know, Judgment Day and Cage Fight had the same composer. You can kinda tell they sound a lot alike. Judgment Day's a little bit slower, it's a little more groovy. Um, the has some great guitar leads. It's just a well-composed song, and um, very fun. I was very impressed by most of those songs they got from, APM. Alright, so now on to This Is How We Roll by Florida Georgia Line, which is one of the only country songs ever put into a wrestling game. Um, and I actually liked it. I mean, I'm gonna put it in B tier, like, and I don't listen to country music at all. I find it very, irritating. I'm not, like, from the South or anything, so it's not really integrated in my local culture. So I find it pretty off-putting for the most part, especially, like, male vocalists, because honestly, I think they all kinda sound the same for the most part, but I don't know, this song is fun. It's kind of I don't wanna say inspiring because it's not, but it makes you feel good. I got no problems with it. The guitar is kinda good by country music standards, um, and maybe nostalgia is part of it. Cause okay, we all know WWE 2K15 in general was, like, one of the weaker games, but, for a later soundtrack, it's pretty good for the most part. Most of the songs are good on there. Um, alright, so now we got, Deep Six by Marilyn Manson from 2K16. Man, I fucking hate Marilyn Manson. This is going in E tier. Reason it's not going in F is, like, I've heard worse Marilyn Manson songs, and it's better than some of, like, the shitty rap songs, which we'll get to later on, but it's borderline unlistenable. I don't know. I don't get his whole, like, shock rock gimmick. I never really got into it. Um, and man, it's a long song. It's very boring and just not a fan. So moving on, Come Down by Anderson .Paak. This is from WWE 2K17, I think. Man, this prob 2K17 had probably the worst soundtrack out of all of them. I mean, 2K20, I think, too, was another one that was weak, but holy shit, this song sucks. Just another awful rap song, to be quite honest. Alright, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. I think this was in 2K19. Now, this is another one. I knew this song before it was ever in a wrestling game. And I don't know, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this song. I think a lot of people will agree with me on this one because, um, I mean, I'm not that into Disturbed, even though I listen to a lot of other bands in the same genre as them. Like, I liked them when I was a kid. Like, when I was like, I don't know, fucking 13 or something, I thought like this was the edgiest shit ever. But so it's very simplistic from an instrumental standard, and that can be okay. The bridge is what ruins this song. It's I don't know, man, like, kinda have the same problem with, like, some other bands in the genre, like, okay, a band like Puddle of Mudd, they have a song called "Control," which I really like, but the bridge really sucks and it's off-putting, and it's kinda the same thing here, that whole, like, abusive mother shit that they talk about in the bridge. I don't know what the hell they were going for there, um but then it picks right back up with the final chorus, so if the bridge wasn't in the song, this is an A tier, but that horrendous bridge with the juvenile lyrics, that brings it down to a B. And, like, I'm not that picky when it comes to lyrics, but, like, I mean, it's just absurd, some of the things said in that song. And it's kinda cheesy too with, like, the growls at the beginning and stuff, I mean, but it's got a good chorus and it's kind of fun, it's a bit of an anthem, and it's kind of iconic now, like, everybody knows this song. Um, it's weird how it was included in, like, a modern wrestling game because they don't market wrestling games or wrestling in general the way they used to, like, it's basically geared towards kids for the most part, especially the games, and, it it's not like we're promoting SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 anymore, and, so it's weird that a song like this was included, especially I think they kept the bridge section in there, but it was, like, of course, edited and stuff. Alright, here we go. So, we're on to "Alone" by Zebrahead from the original SVR. This is the best song yet. We're putting it in S tier. I became a big Zebrahead fan thanks to this game, and holy shit, this song is intense. So this band basically has they're kinda similar to Linkin Park in the sense that they have a regular vocalist and then a rapper, and the rapper, and he does some scream vocals sometimes, he just completely takes over in the song. This song is everything, it has a great solo, it has a nice melodic part with the lead singer, Justin, and, if if you guys haven't heard it, I recommend their entire, 3rd record, MFZB. It stands for motherfucking Zebrahead Bitch, which yeah, I mean, the band kicks ass, they're great, they've written some great songs. Their 2nd vocalist was pretty good too, but I prefer the first one because the first vocalist left at one point, but yeah, this song alone and it just totally fit the chaotic vibe of the Ruthless Aggression era. Um, just a phenomenal song. It's only 2 minutes, but man, it makes quite the impression. You got some punk rock in there, um, some alternative elements. I mean, shit, they knew how to write a song. That's for damn sure. Anyways, so now we're on to Waiting, Not Forgotten. This is one of the better ones from SVR06, but it's not that good. I'm gonna put it like in high D tier. It's kind of generic and forgettable. Um, very much a product of its time, I'd say. All right, now we got Forgive Me by Versus the World. Um, this is a song that, like, when I was playing SVR07, I didn't really notice it that much, but over the years, I've come to appreciate it a lot more. Um, it's got some kind of eerie lyrics and stuff. I'm gonna put it in A tier, like low A tier, but um, the guitar's kind of forgettable, but the vocalist is gives a good performance and stuff, and I really like the lyrical content and stuff, and it's just a very nostalgic song. Sounds very 2000s, which I'm always down for that. On to a final episode by Asking Alexandria. I don't even remember what game this was in, but holy shit, this song sucks. I don't really care for this band in general. Um, I think they're posers, and there's more poser bands in these later games that we're gonna talk about, but this band in particular pisses me off. They're not hardcore at all, but they're just irritating. Like, I mean, and I like rock and some metal just as much as anybody, but like, I don't know, something about them is really off-putting to me. I don't enjoy their music. I think I like one song they do. It's called, "Alone in the a Room" or something, and even that, it's a very generic song, but I kind of enjoy it, I guess. Alright, on to "Grounds" by Idols. Again, this has gotta be from one of the later games, I don't remember specifically. It's got kind of an okay beat, but it's nothing that memorable. I'll put it in E tier. Ooh, "Driven" by Seven Dust. This is from, '08. Um, dude, the Seven Dust songs in that game are freaking phenomenal. I'm torn here. I don't know if I should put it in S. I'm putting it in A. It's very close though, because that chorus is phenomenal. It's so, like, melodic and pleasing to listen to for Seven Dust standards, because Seven Dust is usually a very visceral band and stuff. I mean, they have some slower songs too, but as a whole, this album, Alpha, is very underrated and overlooked. Um, this song's got it all. There's some screaming vocals, some nice, almost rapping nu metal-like parts, the chorus, which is probably the best part of the song. There's a cool solo in there. I mean, it's not a great solo, but it's kind of interesting, I guess. Um, and of course, this song played all the time on SVR8. I feel like '08 is the soundtrack I listened to the most because I just played the GM mode on that endlessly when I was younger. So I got really familiar with these songs, and like I still listen to this song to this day. "Driven" is awesome. One of my favorite Seven Dust songs, actually. It's now on to The Clearing by Gresby Race Nash. This is from WWE 12. Now, this is interesting. So, just like with SVR 11, WWE 12 kind of did something similar where they had like stock music, but it was just four songs taken by one composer named Gresby Race Nash. Now, I've done my homework with these like generic stock music that they've tracks that they found through either APM, or this one was through an organization called West One Music. And this guy is one hell of a composer. I mean, these four songs, they come from an album called Apocalypse, which it's like available on Spotify and stuff. I would definitely check it out. They chose the four songs that are basically the most like rock oriented from the album. And because he does some like electronic songs. I think there's like a ballad on there as well. Just very creative stuff. And the only problem I had with it is I remember it was mixed very lowly, uh, like volume wise, because like or mastered, I guess, because you can barely even hear the songs as they're playing in the background. Now W12, this is the game where like in the background Randy Orton's like on the in the background stuff. But yeah, so The Clearing's my favorite one of the bunch. It's an S tier for me. I mean, it's such a memorable song. I mean, um, it starts off with a great, like, grungy riff. You got that fuzz guitar going on. The drums are loud and impactful. Um, everything is given room to breathe. Like, the mix is great. It's produced well. And then the best part, there's an orchestral piece that comes in at the end. It's just so atmospheric and enjoyable to listen to. Um, nobody ever talks about the WWE 12 soundtrack. I guess you could say it's not like a real soundtrack because it's just four songs by one composer, but man, they're really good. So now we got "Can't Stop" by Pre-Thing, not to be confused with "Can't Stop" by the Chili Peppers. This is also from the original SVR. Hmm, I'm torn between B and C. It's like a low B. I mean, um, it's a little dated once again. It's just kind kind of a run of the mill like sort of new metal song, but what I like about this one, um, I really like the like attitude and presentation of it. Like the guitars are really unique in it, and the lyrics are actually kind of clever, talking about all the things you can't stop doing and stuff. I could tell the vocalist, like, definitely has a presence, like, I've never seen the song live or anything. In fact, I believe the vocalist of this band died shortly after, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fun song. It fits the vibe of the original SVR, so no complaints with it really. All right, now we're on to Wild Ones by Sia and Flo Rida. Now, this one's a little difficult to rank because I love the chorus. I mean, I'm a sucker for any good like hook or like pop chorus. Um, and Sia's a phenomenal vocalist, and this song was on so much when I was younger, and definitely brings back a lot of fond memories. So if we were ranking just the chorus, it would be an S tier. But you also have to contend with the rather mediocre, like, Flo Rida rap verses. Now, um, I can tolerate Flo Rida. He's just kind of a party rapper in this similar vein to like Pitbull or something. But you know, rap is just not my thing. I mean, but it is what it is. I would still give it a low A tier. This is from WWE 2K15. It's kind of weird how they chose this song for the soundtrack because this was the theme for WrestleMania 28, and they remixed like the song and added a like different lyrics in the second verse or something. Just kind of weird. I went to a WWE 2K16 track. This is Transmission by Zed. I enjoy this one. I mean, um, I this is the one I'm thinking of. I think it's like a hip hop song, but it has a really good beat, and I appreciated its instrumentation and production. Um, hell, I'm gonna put it in C tier. It wasn't bad at all from what I remember, especially for a hip hop song and stuff. All right, so now we're on to Ride by 21 Pilots. Um, this was 2K17, so we had Heavy Dirty Soul earlier, and I like that one. And you know what? I like Ride too. It's probably my second favorite song that they do. So they just so happen to include their two best songs in the game. So, um, yeah, it's going in B tier. I like it. I mean, um, there's not as much rapping or screaming as usual, which that's the side of 21 Pilots that irritates me the most. This is just a pretty chill pop song and stuff. There's some decent instrumental ideas going on. Um, the lyrics are a little bit uninspired, but overall it sounds good. I can't really complain with it, and it's kind of nostalgic, I guess. So yeah, I think B tier is appropriate for that one, at least for me. Um, man, we still got a long way to go. Um, I can be kind of long-winded sometimes. So now this is You Never Met a White Boy Quite Like Me by Kid Rock. This is like F tier shit. Um dude, Kid Rock fucking sucks. I mean that title says it all. I don't even have to say anything more. Alright, now we got Override by Slipknot. To me this one's 2K19. This goes in the same category as like Deep Six. It just oh man, like I'm okay with some Slipknot songs, but to me they're just another really overdone sort of fake band in a similar sense to like Marilyn Manson. And this song, it's just every Slipknot song ever to me. I mean, most of it just sounds the same. Um, and I think heavy songs like in wrestling games or wrestling in general, they work to a certain extent. We don't need this like screamo shit in there. Like, it's cool just having hard rock and alternative and maybe new metal stuff in there. We don't need like shit like this, you know what I mean? It just seems like a little over the top. Right now, we're on to Bottom Line by Swollen Members. Surprisingly, because this is a hip hop song, this is going in B tier. And I do think nostalgia plays a factor for sure. 'Cause I remember hearing this song a lot and have some good memories associated with it. But the main thing about it is that instrumental loop or beat or whatever you wanna call it at the beginning, and it kinda just repeats throughout it, is very creative, and, I love the vibe of it. It's very, like, bouncy and stuff, and the chorus is cool. The rap verses, they don't irritate me as much as you would expect. So, yeah, I mean, I actually I enjoyed this one. B tier is good for that one. Alright, so this is Lil Uzi Vert. That's gotta be a rapper. So F tier. King of the Mat by Vada. This is from SVR06, but this is another rap song. I didn't like it at all. I mean, some of like the wrestling references felt very forced. So yeah, I'd never really cared for that one too much. I Ain't Your Savior by Bullets and Octane. Wow, now this is a pretty dope song. It's got some punk rock vibes, and some of these bands I don't even know where they find them, because does anybody know anything about this band? I mean, like, so trying to think of where to rank it. I mean, honestly, it's A tier. It's a good song. Um, it's pretty intense vocally. It reminds me of like a Dropkick Murphy song in a way. It's got a surprisingly like intricate solo. Um, the riff's kind of basic, but it's cool. It's just the nature of this type of music. Um, they played this a lot during SVR7, so it had a lot of time to like get stuck in my head. Good stuff there. Alright, so this song "Hollywood Sucks," I don't think I like this one. I don't really remember it. I'm just gonna assume by the title it sucks. "No More Tears to Cry" by Bullet for My Valentine. Now, there's a Bullet for My Valentine song in a later game that I like, or actually no, an earlier game, I should say, which we'll get to that later, but this one in particular, it's not really my thing. I'm gonna put it in E tier. I mean, I think this band has some talent, but not all their songs are really for me. Um, I mean, metalcore has some, good bands and stuff, but for the most part, it's not really my genre. Now we got the other Seven Dust song, "Feed." Um, I'm gonna put this in A tier too. I think I like Driven slightly more, but it's like they're neck and neck. They're both great songs. Feed has a better solo, and that's the highlight of the whole song, because at first it does kind of drag a little bit. Right? It's got a creative little riff with the wah pedal and stuff, but um, at first, like it's kind of boring for a Seven Dust song, but it really picks up in the second half and gets intense and stuff. But the solo is surprisingly melodic and stuff. So yeah, and I heard it a lot once again an SVR8 song. So just through like GM mode, I heard it quite a bit. All right, so now we're on to "The Way It Is" by Powerman 5000. Now, this band had 4 songs in the first SmackDown versus Raw game. 3 of them, which this is one of them, were made for the game, which is pretty interesting. I don't think that's really been done much since. But unfortunately, I don't really like this song that much. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Um, the other 3 are really solid, and we'll talk about them later, but this one, it's just kinda bland. It just sounds, like, typical, and the vocals are really grating for some reason in it. It almost seems like it's trying to be annoying and over the top. It might be my least favorite song from the original SVR, actually. Like, it's not as bad as, like, some of these songs in E and F tier, but it's still, like, not really one I'm enjoying too much. And now we got "Contagion" by Gresby Race Nash. This is one of the WWE 12 songs. Um, it's pretty solid. It's not as good as "The Clearing." I'm gonna put it, like, in a high B tier. Um, it's got about, like, 30 seconds that are really cool, but the intro is kinda, like, overly long. and uh, kind of lacking in substance at first. But once it kicks in, it's pretty cool. It doesn't have as many instruments as the clearing, so not as creative, but just kind of a fun rock song. I mean, I definitely like it. Heart of a Warrior by Dizzy Rascal. This is from 2K15, I believe. Um, Now it's a rap song, so not really crazy about it, but the chorus is actually pretty good. I'm gonna put it like in low D tier. I don't like hate it or anything. It's something to believe in from 2K. Is it 2K17 or 16? I don't know. I kind of lost track like with the later games and stuff. Um, oh, and by the way, sorry this is so out of order. I tried to organize it at first in a way where all the songs would be together, so but it just randomized it for some reason, so we just gotta roll with it. But yeah, so this is just a rap song. I mean, it doesn't make me wanna blow my brains out or anything, but it still kinda sucks. So E tier, We Made It by Yellow Claw, don't remember it, so I'm gonna assume F tier. We Run by Ishi. What game was that in? That sounds familiar. Is that a rap song? I'm not even sure. Probably is. I'll put it in F tier. Ungrateful and Thankful by Whale. This is WWE 2K19. I hated this one. Just an awful rap song once again. Um, WWE 2K19, they did something kind of interesting where like a WWE superstar would choose like the song from the soundtrack, and this was like the New Day's choice, so no surprise there because the song sucks. Burning Man by Watt. Shit, I don't remember this one at all. So I'm assuming F. Scream at Me by Billy Ray. This is from SVR 06. This is F tier too. I always found this song to be super obnoxious. Here we go. Now here's a song, Stitches by Alel. This is from SVR 07. Kind of another unknown band. I mean, I've never really heard of them doing anything in music aside from this game. So but to me this is a fantastic song. It's going in S tier. Um from a songwriting perspective, it's nothing special, but I don't know, to me personally it really resonates. I mean, um while the lyrics are kind of basic, I think they kind of tackle like emotions that we've all felt and stuff. And the vocalist is really good and convincing and sincere in his performance and stuff. Um, Plus, it's just got a super chill vibe while you're playing SVR7. So I'm always more partial to the earlier soundtracks. Alright, here's the other bullet for my Valentine song I was talking about. This is a Skin. Um, I mean, it's a pretty solid song. Um, put it like in C tier. I like the riffs and stuff. The vocals aren't my favorite thing in the world, but I pretty much enjoyed it. Now we got Icy Girl by Saudi. Oh god, I hate this song. F tier. Is this WB2K20? I think it was. Protect Your Neck by Wu Tang. Another F tier. Complete shit. Chasing After by Tantric. It's alright, but once again, the original SVR probably would have been best off cutting out a few of these like really generic tracks. Tantric is a band that came and went. I mean, they were hot for like a couple months or whatever, but um, it's like D tier. And I mean, I'm a sucker for like generic rock songs, as you can see, but something about that kind of misses the mark for me. So now we're on to Take What You Want by Post Malone and Ozzy. This was just kind of weird. It's not as bad as like the F tier songs, but even Ozzy's performance on it wasn't great, and I don't like Post Malone at all, so that's kind of a recipe for disaster. Everybody Down by Nonpoint. This is from SVR 08. Um, it's alright. Now, Nonpoint also had 2 songs in SVR 07, which I like a lot better. This one, it's kinda just there, and it's nothing I would ever listen to if it wasn't in the game. Um, so, I'm gonna put it, like, in C tier. Yeah, right about there. There's also a version of it that wasn't in the game that was just, like, on their album that's, like, horrible, that probably would've been, like, F tier or something, but the mix or the version that was used in the SVR8 game, is tolerable and kind of enjoyable at times, but kinda pales in comparison to the rest of the soundtrack. I now Ooh, Lay Your Money Down by the Xyz. Shit. Ooh. Man, I wanna put this in S tier, and there was a time I probably would have, but right now it's going in A, just because I've become a pretty big fan of the Xyz because of this game, and I've listened to, like, their entire discography now, and they have way better songs than this. I will say this is probably their heaviest song, or m maybe their 2nd or 3rd heaviest or something, but it's, like, right up there. It's very Nirvana-esque and sounds like something that would have been, like, on Bleach or something, and, the riffs are strong, the vocals are incredible. It's just, really good sort of punkish feel, very different from their early stuff. They're a rare case of a band that got heavier as they went along. Because in the beginning, they were almost writing, like, Beatles sorta songs and stuff, which I like those too. The Xyz are very underrated, great band. I'm glad I discovered them because of this game. But yeah, that song totally reminds me of Nirvana in the best way possible. And yeah, not like in like a puddle of mud way where it's like obnoxious Kurt Cobain worship. All right, now we got Start Moving by the Lions. This was from SVR 10. This is it's a pretty interesting song. Um I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't think I like it as much as I used to, but, it's got some really interesting guitar work. There's a great solo at the end, and the riffs are on point, and I almost would have rather it been an instrumental because it's kind of a nice little progressive rock piece, but the vocals are kinda iffy. The guy almost sounds like Chris Jericho or something, from Fozzy, which not big on them. So, yeah, I mean, SVR 10 didn't have the most memorable soundtrack compared to some of the previous installments, but definitely a solid, serviceable rock song, pretty fun for the most part. Deuce is Wild, this is just another one of the stock songs from SVR 11, but it's really good, it's one of the better ones, I'd say. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Um, it's very different from Judgment Day and Cage Fight in the sense that it's more like an AC/DC type of song as far as the instrumentals. There's a great guitar solo at the end. It's, um it's more laid back, it's not as, like, doom and gloom as the other 2. Um, so yeah, Deuce as well, it's pretty cool. Alright, how many more do we have? Shit. This was quite the project. What the fuck is this right here? How did that happen? Oh, that's Working by Big Smo. Jeez, I don't know why the font got like that, but it's not as bad as you would think. I'm gonna put it, like, an E tier. Maybe a little more nostalgic for the 2K15 soundtrack for whatever reason. It is a rap song, but it's kind of hilarious. Like, I might like it ironically a little bit more than I actually do. So, um, next one's Bone Cracker by Showcore. Just another band that, like, I don't even know where they found them. They seem like the kind of band I wouldn't like at all outside of this game, but, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I like it better than the core. It's got a nice little beat. I mean, it's a creative little blend of, like, electronic rock and hip hop. They got the new metal formula right for this particular song, at least. I mean, it's a little corny how he keeps saying, "I'm the bone cracker, I'm the bone cracker," but, you know, the the original SVR, it's kind of a vibe, it's just, like, a lot of rap and rock infused together. It's Tricky by Run DMC. Um, I mean, I like it. I'm not that big on Run DMC in general, but this song has been, like, played on the radio so many times and been in so many, like, TV shows and movies and stuff. I've just gotten used to it. It just seems like this song, you can't escape it, but I'm gonna put it, like, in C tier. I think it's not bad, kinda catchy. Falling Apart by Zebrahead. This is also from the original SVR. Not quite as good as Alone, but really enjoyable and very iconic. Anyone who's played the original SVR remembers this song. It's got a killer guitar riff to start. It features the lead singer more than the rapper. Um, Very good sort of punk rock song. I like that it's a breakup song that's not too like depressing in nature. They still kept it kind of fun, which Zebrahead is good at. Definitely a really solid song. We Don't Have to Dance by Andy Black. Um, just a weird song. Don't care for it. F tier. Smokin' by Boston. Um, See, this is interesting because I'm a pretty big classic rock fan at heart, and Boston's first album is very iconic. I mean, the first 3 songs on it are some of my favorite songs, like, of all time, literally, especially, like, More Than a Feeling, but, this song in particular, it's got a great, like, little instrumental section, but it's kind of bland, like, I'm gonna put it in C tier. It doesn't really fit, like, a wrestling game at all. It's kinda curious that they even put it in there, um and I mean, Brad Delp is super talented, and I think the world of him as a vocalist, and Boston was great, and especially the first album, but this cut in particular, it's like it's just kind of there, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm in the right mood, it's a good song, but it's not nearly as good as some of their other songs. Alright. Start a War by Static X. I'm not a Static X fan. This is from SVR 6, and this song in particular is very annoying. So F tier it is. Oh, here we go now. This is a song. Survive by Rise Against is S tier for sure. It's actually probably my favorite song out of all of these. Holy shit, what a banger. It's got everything. I mean, even if you just look at it instrumentally even, there's so much going on. I mean, there's shredding guitar, fast drums, and it's a very inspirational song. Um, to be quite honest, it's helped me turn my life around in times of need. I've seen this song means so much to so many people. I've seen people like who have like the lyrics tattooed and stuff. So um obviously very meaningful to a lot of people. Um Sends a really positive message, I feel. And this whole album, The Suffer and The Witness, I think it's their best work, and it closes the album, and it's such a vibe in SVR07. I mean, I really can't praise the song enough. I'll be here all day talking about it. Champion by Fall Out Boy. This is from WWE 2K20. It's not that bad. I'm gonna put it in D tier. I don't. I mean, like I like some of Fall Out Boy's like earlier material, back when they were a little more pop punk as opposed to this like just commercial shit they're doing now. But it's tolerable. I don't hate it, but at the same time, it's not anything I enjoy that much. Polyamorous by Breaking Benjamin. This is one of the few songs here that I've had the pleasure of seeing live because I'm a big Breaking Benjamin fan. I saw them last year. Um, but I didn't even remember this song being in the game, to be quite honest. Like, I was looking up all the soundtracks and arranging this list and stuff, and I saw Polyamorous was there. Now, their song Firefly is in the game, which we'll talk about that later. That's the song that got me into them. but I wasn't aware Polyamorous was in the game. It must have just not played for me or whatever, but, um, this was their debut single off their album Saturate. Um, it's really got that early 2000s feel to it, just that was when they were, like, young and hungry and making pretty aggressive music and stuff, and just a very raw sound. It's not my favorite Breaking Benjamin song, but it's damn solid. I'm gonna give it a high B tier. Very enjoyable. Then we got Metal by Poppy. Holy fuck, I hate this band. They have another song in another installment. We'll get to that later, but this song in particular, holy shit, like, uh, is a joke. Like, I thought Poppy was like a meme or something some years ago. I don't know. That might be the worst song in any wrestling game ever. Like, fucking pisses me off. It was even included. But so now we got Riot Time. This is from SVR, the original, um, another Power Man 5000 song. It's good. I like it. Like low B tier. Um, it's fun. It's just, I mean, it doesn't stray too far from the typical sound. There's no electronics in it really, so there's just mainly guitar going on, drums and stuff. Not much to say about it, but I like it. It's definitely a chill song. Oh, Booker T by Bad Bunny. So I had heard about this song. I think they mentioned it like on WWE programming or something, and I don't really understand why. Like, I mean, Booker T was a good wrestler and everything, but like, I don't know why Bad Bunny felt compelled to make a song about him. And I'll admit I was pretty impressed by Bad Bunny's like wrestling performance, but as a musician, I don't really understand the appeal. And you can't really say that it's because he's Spanish because I liked some songs in the past with like a Spanish vocalist and stuff, but I don't really like his style that much. So it's got to go in F tier. This is a rap song, F tier. SUVs by Lusanio. I hated that. You Wouldn't Know by Hell Yeah. This is another SVR 08 song. Might be one of the weaker tracks in the game, but I still like it a lot. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Um, Pretty high up there. The best part of the song is it has a really kick-ass guitar solo. And for those of you who don't know, Hell Yeah was like a compilation band, I think, or like an all-star band sort of thing. I think members of Mudvayne and Pantera were in it. And yeah, I mean, the lyrics are kind of contrived and stuff, but it's intense. It's a fun little headbanger for sure, and definitely nostalgic. I don't really listen to them that much. They do a cover of a song I really like by Phil Collins called "I Don't Care Anymore." I think they do it better, to be honest. So now on to "Better Than Mine" by Six. Um, when I was younger, I really liked this song, but I'm gonna put it like in C tier. This is just another no-name band. Um, I will say this: I feel like the vocal performance is very convincing. The singer seems genuinely angry and hurt, and like someone really wronged him or fucked him over. So I felt it was sincere in that sense, unlike a lot of songs in the genre. But um, instrumentally, it's very paint by the numbers, and it's not that interesting. It gets kind of old after a while, but um, I mean, there's a place in my heart for that song because I heard it so many times over the years playing SVR09. Revolution by Pennywise. This is the one and only song in WWE 13 because that game just had like soundtracks, like as far as like entrance themes, so there wasn't like a real soundtrack. But this was the song they used to promote the game, and you would still hear it in the background. And I don't know that much about Pennywise. I guess they're like a punk rock band. Um, this song's pretty cool. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think It's not like that innovative, like, it's, like, basically every punk rock song ever, but it's fun, it really, captures the feel of, like, the Attitude Era in a way, and, which is what that game was going for, so, yeah, I mean, I remember really digging this one back then. Right now, our Power Cuts, this is another, SVR 11, stock music track. This one, it's not quite as good as, some of the other ones, like Cage Fight or Judgment Day. It's got a little bit more of a hip hop vibe going, than in the other ones. It's still good. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I mean, it gets you fired up and stuff. WWE's used this song on numerous occasions. Like it was the theme song for Survivor Series 2004. And I don't know if you guys remember the jobber Bam Neely. He was like Chavo Guerrero's enforcer back when like La Familia was a thing. And that was his entrance song, I guess. But yeah, so Come On Over by Royal Blood. This was in WWE 2K15. This is another song I saw live because when I saw Foo Fighters some years back, they opened for Royal Blood opened um for Foo Fighters. And this was right after they released their debut album. I mean, it's a good little song. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I feel like Royal Blood has better songs, and for them, this is just kind of I don't want to say mediocre. It's got a nice little riff, but it's a little repetitive and kind of boring. And I would have rather they picked like any other song from their debut for the first one. Like I would have loved to hear like Little Monster or 10 Ton Skeleton or even like Figure It Out would have been pretty cool. All right, now this is the first Machine Gun. Holy shit, he's had a lot of songs in these games. This was in W2K16 a little more, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I really like this song, and I hate Machine Gun Kelly with a passion. I think he's a fucking douche and a poser. Um, he's not really the reason I like this song, though. I mean, cause like just like with Wild Ones by Sia and Flo Rida, Sia carries that song. And it's kind of the same thing here. This song has a vocalist in the chorus and bridge named Victoria Monet. And I really like her part. She's a very talented vocalist and stuff. MGK was very lucky to have worked with her on this one. So I'm going to put it in B tier. I think the message of the song is really, uplifting because the chorus it just basically goes, I think we all need a little more love, and it's just basically to promote like people not hating one another and stuff, and being a little more tolerant and accepting of one another. The only problem is I feel like Machine Gun Kelly's verses are very like contrived, and the lyrics just for the lowest common denominator. I mean, his rap verses suck so hard, but yeah, if it weren't for him bogging the song down a little, this would probably be higher because I really dig the vocal performance of the female singer and stuff, but, um, fuck MGK, man, he's so terrible. Hopefully, that's the last time we have to talk about that fucking punk. Alright, now we're on to This Time by I don't even know who the hell this is. This is F tier. It's gotta be a rap song. Here we go, Firefly by Breaking Benjamin from the original SVR. This is S tier for sure. I mean, hell, this is the song that got me into Breaking Benjamin, and, when you look at Breaking Benjamin's discography, this is a song that you might think is, like, nothing special because it was just a deep cut from their second album, which most people only remember, like, So Cold and Rain and maybe a couple others, but, this song always, struck a chord with me. I feel like it tells a good story lyrically. Ben sounds passionate in it, and, overall, like, with how like the production sounds and stuff. It feels very much in line with other songs on the SVR soundtrack. So really good song to introduce the um me to the band. And I might be biased because it was my first song I heard from them, but I've always really liked it. All right, Tech Nine song, that's F tier, of course. Wait, actually, Last One Standing, I remember that. Okay, that's E tier because I there was something I kind of liked about it, but I don't really recall, so it didn't make that much of an impression. Crush, Kill, Destroy by Poet. This is from SVR 6. I'm gonna put it in E tier. It's not as terrible as like the F tier songs, but it's just it's really long and boring and just kind of samey. How many more do we got here? Oh man, this is crazy. So many songs. Very ambitious project on my part. All right, one. How long have I been at this? Shit, over an hour at this point. Alive and Kicking by Non-Point. I'm putting it in A tier. I like it quite a bit. Um, Pretty good lyrics. I don't really like Non-Point that much, but nostalgia is probably a big part of it. I really heard it a lot playing SVR 7. Um, I don't know. There's just something about it that um, I really dig. Moving on to Devil by Shinedown. This is from WWE 2K19. This song was used in WWE promotions for like the entire year, so I'm putting it in B tier. I like Shinedown. This isn't like their best song or their best album for that matter, but it's fun. It fits for wrestling. I mean, they have some songs that are more ballady that wouldn't work, and honestly, I think those are their best songs. Songs like "The Crow and the Butterfly" or "I'll Follow You." But as far as Devil, it's a solid song. I mean, it's probably my favorite song in the game. I mean, 2K19 didn't have like a really good soundtrack. It had a few good songs, but that's probably the best of the bunch. The Dark Side by Muse. I like a couple Muse songs. This is not one of them. I just found this one to be very bland and forgettable. Nothing special. Iron Fist by Motorhead. I'm not a big Motorhead fan. I know they do like Triple H's Demon stuff, but that vocalist is fucking irritating. So E tier for that one. F tier for whatever the hell this is. All right, Put Your Lips to the TV by Project 86. All right, here we go. So, um, and once again, I had a lot of time to hear this song just from attrition through playing SVR 08 so much, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in A tier. Um, to me, there's a lot to like about this one. It has a great guitar solo. They have another song in this game that I like even more, which we're gonna talk about that soon. But this one's a little bit more aggressive, and I really like the sort of fuck you attitude in the lyrics and stuff. It's kind of a simplistic punk song, but it's very fun. And holy shit, it's a song where you can actually hear the bass guitar, so it gets points for that. Um, the production almost sounds like amateurish, but I don't mean that in a bad way. It's actually kind of like endearing almost because it doesn't sound like a typical like radio rock song. It sounds like they worked really hard on it, so I can appreciate that. As Put Your Lips to the TV, it's just such a fun song to jam to while you're playing through GM mode. MERS by SWC. This is from SVR09. This is the token rap song that they have to put in the game every year. Um, but it's not bad. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I think and I played a lot of SVR09 back in the day too, mainly online and stuff because there really wasn't shit to do in that game. I mean, career mode sucked. Um, well, I can't say it sucked, but it was ultimately meaningless. Road to WrestleMania was short, so. But anyways, so I did hear the soundtrack quite a bit for SVR09, and I respect this song more than I like it because I think the lyrics are actually meaningful. 'cause a lot of main reason I don't like a lot of rap songs is they talk about, like, really meaningless shit, like hoes and money and gang violence and all this crap that nobody wants to hear about. Or I guess somebody wants to hear about it, but not me. But this it seems like an actual, like, intelligent song where the lyrics were well thought out and it's actually trying to tell a story and send a message, so, um, I appreciate it for that. And it's like it's kinda I don't wanna say fun, but it's like it's an alright little jam. Wow, this is overwhelming. I have so many songs left. I'm getting kind of fucking burned out, but Imma push through. I made a mission to complete this, soundtrack. I mean, I remember most of these songs, especially the older ones, but there may be a song here or there that's just so forgettable, and those that just go in F tier for the most part. Not as many S tiers as I thought they would be. I mean, I'm trying to keep those special. I don't wanna, like, overuse it. That should be reserved for the songs that I think are the absolute best. You're Going Down by Sick Puppies, really good song. I like the Sick Puppies. They were a very good band. I'm putting this in A tier. Um, the vocalist was very charismatic and convincing and stuff. And I mean, that's a big part of it for me in music is like if the vocalist sounds like a fraud or if they don't give a shit about the music, I'm just totally like tuned out, you know what I mean? So that's very important to me. The bass line is really good. The bassist of Sick Puppies is now in Evanescence, so that's cool. Glad she got a better gig for herself and stuff. I wish the Sick Puppies would have made it better. They were really original for someone in this genre. So yeah, You're Going Down, and a great song for a wrestling game because I mean that's basically the whole point of wrestling is to bring your opponent to the mat for the 1, 2, 3. In the Zone, this is another SVR 11 stock track. Um, it's only a minute long, but it kind of packs a punch for such a short song. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Um, it's deceptively heavy, but it's got a nice little melodic guitar line going. It's pretty chill when you're just like customizing stuff in SVR 11. So I think it was a good choice for the soundtrack. Ghost by Mystery Skull. This is SVR. Wait, no, this is WWE 2K15. This is a little later. This is a pretty interesting little alternative song. It's not something I would ordinarily listen to, but the fact it was in the game and it didn't annoy me or anything. I actually really dug it for the most part. So I am going to put it in like lowish B tier. Um, it's kind of fun, kind of haunting. I mean, the vocals are a little weird and it took some getting used to, but overall, it's not bad at all. Youth Gone Wild by Skid Row. This is such a weird song to be like in a wrestling game. Um, Now to me, Skid Row, I'd put them in the same category as like a band like Motley Crue, just shitty hair metal. I mean, it's not like the worst thing I've ever heard, so I'll put it in E tier, but just very bland and like kind of dumb to be quite honest. Paranoid by Black Sabbath. I don't know how many classic rock fans we got here, but this is probably gonna piss some people off. Paranoid only gets a C tier for me now, and I do like me some Black Sabbath, but like I don't know, I like a song like War Pigs or NIB a lot better than Paranoid. The band's even admitted that Paranoid was kind of just like written for the sake of filling album space. To me, it's just run of the mill Ozzy, nothing special. But I mean, it's got a good riff and stuff, and it's definitely iconic. Um, I think I'd just hold Ozzy and Black Sabbath to a high standard. So that one's just kind of forgettable, to be quite honest. But it's not like bad by any means. Last Night on Earth. This is the final Power Man 5000 song from the original SVR, and it's my favorite one. In fact, it is going in A tier. Um, it's really in your face and punk rock-esque, and it doesn't let up at all, and, this is one of the first songs you hear in the soundtrack and stuff right after that, like, um, little compilation at the beginning of the game, so, definitely very fond memories of hearing this one. Um, it might be a little generic, technically speaking, but I don't even care, it's just such a fun song. Boys in the Hood by Eazy-E. For a rap song, I don't hate it, probably because it's older. I mean, 80s and 90s rap had some decent stuff compared to like shit you hear now. So for that, it will go in E tier, but maybe a little higher than some of these other ones. Bang Bang by Bumpy Knuckles. This is from SVR '06. It's all right. It's mostly instrumental, but it's mainly just hip hop beats. And when the vocals come in, it is kind of a disaster. So I do have to give it E tier. Bullet with a Name by Nonpoint. This is the other one from SVR 7. Um, it's good. I like it. It's pretty intense and fun. I mean, it's got kind of some Latin vibes, which is unique. Um, again, just a fun song to vibe to in SVR 7, but not my favorite on the soundtrack. Spit Out the Bone by Metallica. This pains me a little bit to say because I'm a huge Metallica fan, but this is D tier, honestly. This song isn't that great and it's very overrated. Um, now, Metallica, so they just came out with an album a few weeks ago, which I'm not that impressed with. I mean, good for them that they're still making music, and I'll never mock an artist for trying, but to me, I'm just not like connecting with it that much. And same for the album before this. This was from an album called Hardwired to Self Destruct, and oh man, I mean, it had a few good songs. A song called Moth into Flame, which was really cool, but this song, I don't know, it gets all this like praise and attention, and I don't understand why. It was even played as like The Undertaker's song for his last match, that like boneyard shit they were doing. And I don't know, for Metallica, it just feels really safe and basic and like just going through the motions almost. It almost feels like an AI generated Metallica song. Like I don't now granted an AI generated Metallica song is gonna be better than like any fucking rap song that's an F tier, but still I would have picked a better song to put in the game, you know? Like why didn't they put Hardwired in the game? It's much shorter. It feels like it would fit a wrestling game better. Stigmata by Grandson. I don't remember it. It's got to be a rap song. Say Cheese by Poppy. Oh, this is the other song by Poppy. It's not as bad as Metal, but it still sucks. So F tier. This has got to be a rap song. I don't remember it. Ooh, here we go. Evil Course of Resistance by Project 86. We talked about them earlier with Put Your Lips to the TV. This is from SVR 8 as well. So um, for me, this goes in S tier. Um, now, based on the two songs I heard in SVR 08, I wanted to give this band a chance, and I checked out this album, Rival Factions, and these were the first two songs on it. Holy shit, I don't know about the rest of their albums. People say they were good like in the late 90s. That album sucked. Like but this song Evil is the song to open up the album, and it's very different from the rest of it. It's very nuanced and subdued, and it's like it's much more like an alternative rock song. I mean, it's got kind of like a punkish riff to start, but it gets really melodic and almost beautiful to listen to at certain parts, like in the bridge with that keyboard and stuff. And the lyrics, they speak so eloquently about like treachery and people stabbing each other in the back and stuff. And I mean, for a short little alternative punk song, it it fires on all cylinders. I mean, the instruments are greatly arranged and it's fun while also being kind of dark and melancholy. Um, so I just think there's a lot more than what's on the surface with this song. So this one is very special to me. And in fact, I'm putting it ahead of Right on Time. It's got to be my favorite song in SVR '08. And when I was a kid, I kind of overlooked it compared to some of the other ones, but it's really grown on me, and I truly appreciate. I wish they would make more songs like that. But I guess from what I understand, because I saw some fans like talking about it and stuff on a forum one time, and I guess a lot of people don't like that song because it sort of strays from their ordinary style. Get Up by Stereogram. I don't know if I said that right. This is from SVR '09. This is a nice little song. It's kind of just a little punk rock jam. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Um, when I was a kid, I thought it was pretty cool, but it's kind of generic. The vocalist isn't the best. It's just kind of there, to be honest. Invincible by Adelius Way. This is A tier for sure. This is a great song for a wrestling game because I mean basically just saying I'm invincible tonight gets you feeling like you're unstoppable and stuff. And it's just really become a modern rock anthem. I don't know how popular it got, but I always like this band. They have some pretty good albums and stuff. Um, vocalist is good. I mean, there's a good solo in the song. This is the same band that sang the song for Legacy, which um, I really like that track too. It's called "It's a New Day," not to be confused with that shitty faction that used to be in WWE. All right, now we got Wild Card. This is one of the other SVR 11 songs. Um, I'm gonna put it like in low B tier. It's definitely the worst one out of all the songs in SVR 11 because it's mixed pretty terribly for some reason. Like you can barely hear the lead guitar, um, and it doesn't pack a punch like the rest of the song. There's not really an interesting solo or anything. It's just kind of background noise for the most part, but it's not bad and it's kind of entertaining in its own way. This Means War by Avenged Sevenfold. Ugh. Where do I rank this one? See, this one's tough because I guess I'll put it in D tier. I don't hate Avenged Sevenfold. In fact, I like some of their songs. I like some of the songs from this album, songs like Hail to the King and Shepherd of Fire, but this song in particular is a complete ripoff of Sad But True by Metallica. And it's ironic because Sad But True was included in the game years later, but yeah, so this was in WWE 2K15. I mean the production's good and stuff, but it just I can't get past the fact that they completely like plagiarized that song. It's so blatant and it's really aggravating. And this song is overly long and it's not as interesting as the original. So I don't know. They kind of lose some points with me on that one. Hello World by Kid Ink. Um, this is from WWE 2K16, I think. I don't really remember it, but I don't remember hating it either. Put it in like E tier to be safe. Run by Bring Me the Horizon. Have we talked about this band yet? I don't know if we have. Well, I fucking hate this band. Um, they've had like 3 or 4 songs in the games in recent years. I don't know why they insist on putting them in the soundtrack. Nobody likes them. Like I see these guys get shit on all the time. Like genuinely, who is their fan base? With that said, I think out of the 3 or 4, I think this is like um the one I hate the least. I'll put it in E tier because it's not as bad as the F tier songs, but oh, I described this one as that one fucking George Thorogood song. Um, because okay, this is in WWE 2K18, I wanna say. It's a song called One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer, and it's so long, it's so boring, it's so tedious to listen to. This is a contender for one of the worst songs in any wrestling game, like so the thing is, George Thorogood, he has this song everyone knows it, it's called "Bad to the Bone." That's a banger. I mean, I wish they put that in the game instead, but man, this guy sucks. I don't know what it is, and I don't even hate, like, blues or anything, but, like, the fuck am I listening to when I hear that? "The Broken" by Fireball Ministry from SVR 6. Now this song it makes me sad because it had potential. There's some parts of it I like, but too much like screamo. I don't know. They kind of ruined the vibe of it like halfway through, so it's going in E tier. We still got quite a bit of ways to go. Hope y'all are still with me. Here we go. Now here's a song I like. This is The Enemy by Godsmack. Now I discovered Godsmack through this game SVR7. So this is an S tier for me. Um This is kind of an underrated Godsmack song. It was a single, but you don't see it get talked about that much. I think just the conviction Sully Erna has in his voice when describing this person that he hates, that he wants to be nothing like. It's really powerful stuff. And in terms of how it sounds with the instruments and stuff, it's got a really driving rhythm. Um, the production's not the best on this album compared to other Godsmack releases, but it's perfect for a wrestling game because I mean everyone's an enemy in the squared circle. But yeah, I just songs like this remind me like of my youthful energy and my more angry days. I mean, I'm still pretty young, but I mean like when you're growing up and you have all this angst and stuff. I mean, Godsmack's a great band for venting those sort of feelings and stuff. So, yeah, the enemy is definitely S tier for me. I mean, so if looking at all the S tiers so far, and I know we still have some songs to go, but right now we already have 4 songs in there from SVR7. That speaks to what a great soundtrack it is. Works Hard by Migo. Uh, shit, I don't remember this one at all. I'm gonna assume it's a rap song and that it's gotta go in F tier. Low High by the Black Keys. It's not bad. This was in WB 2K20. And so with the Black Keys, now a lot of people like their earlier material. I don't really like that whole garage rock thing. I mean, some songs are okay. Like I like some like White Stripe songs and stuff, but I think they're actually better now. They work better as a mainstream act, believe it or not, at least to me. So this is a decent little song. I'll put it in C tier. Speaking of which, got another song. I think this is 2K22. This is by Royal Blood as well. Put Typhoons in there. So we already talked about Come On Over, which was in 2K15. But this song Typhoons, it's okay. It's not the best. I mean, they've Royal Blood's kind of changed. They're more mainstream now. With they were more of like a rock act in the beginning, so they're kind of selling out in a way. I mean, they've stayed true to their sound for the most part, but you can see them going in a more commercial direction. I mean, it's inoffensive music, but just nothing that really gets me excited anymore. All right, this song called Jack by Hardy, I really wanted to hate it because I don't like this singer at all. It seems like a tool, and WWE seems obsessed with him for some reason, and he's really not good. Um, but I will say the production saves his ass on this song. It makes him sound like not complete shit. So I'm gonna put this in D tier because it's like somewhat enjoyable at parts. but it's also very aggravating at others, so I don't know what to make of it really. I hate country music, and it's so weird that he tries to infuse country with like screamo. It's very like bizarre. And it's now on to Well Enough Alone by Chevelle, another awesome band. This is from SVR 08. But this particular song is going in A tier. There are some of Chevelle songs that are like S tier for me. This isn't one of them though. For Chevelle standards, it's kind of a generic song actually, but a lot of great memories associated with this one. Um, it's very heartfelt for a Chevelle song. I will say that because they're usually more of a band that wants to like make a statement in like a hard rock sort of way. They're like the Aerosmith of this generation. That might not be giving them enough credit, but like basically they don't write like a lot of songs that like make you feel things. They're just kind of a fun band to vibe to and headbang. But this song is very emotional and heartfelt, so it's a little bit different for them, which I can appreciate. Good song. I remember hearing it a lot back in the day. Perfect Insanity by Disturbed. It's a little difficult for me to rank. Like I talked about earlier with Down with the Sickness, Disturbed's never been like my favorite band. Again, maybe when I was like 12 and I thought they were so hardcore. But Perfect Insanity is probably my favorite song they do in general. So that makes it like a B tier, high B tier for me. It's got a really great guitar solo. In general, I think they stepped up their game with the Indestructible album because the guitar work is like way better than usual on there. Because usually the guitar kind of sucks on Disturbed albums for the most part. But yeah, that song, I guess it was like an older song that they redid or something. Pretty good for a wrestling game. I don't love the lyrics, but I just try to ignore that. And it's a fun headbanging song for sure. Hard Times by the Parlor Mob. This is an underrated band. I've heard a few different songs around that time on like different soundtracks and stuff. Like for instance, they have a really good song called Into the Sun I like. Now, this song's pretty good. It's kind of a throwback. It feels like a Zeppelin or an Aerosmith sort of song. Um, I'm gonna put it in B tier. The vocalist is talented. Um, the song's kind of low key a banger. I'm gonna put it ahead of some of these actually. Bad Guys. This is the final SVR 11 stock music song. It's good. I'm putting it in B tier. It's the most progressive one of the bunch because there's a lot of different sections. Like there's one part where it's just drums and bass. It's got a pretty driving riff. I mean, um, there's some unique like experimentation going on there. I definitely vibe with that song. We Them Boys by Wiz Khalifa. Holy shit, this song's annoying. I remember used to hear it all the time in the background, but because of a slight nostalgia factor, it's going in E tier instead of F. Heavy is the Head by Chris Cornell and the Zach Brown Band. I'm not that big on the Zach Brown Band. I don't hate them or anything, but like again, country's not my thing. But so but this is a little more rock for them. And the addition of Chris Cornell really helps matters because he's such a talented vocalist. He's not in the song enough, if you ask me. But yeah, so like a low B tier. This song was pretty popular when it came out, and um, sadly, I believe it was one of last Chris Cornell's last contributions musically. Um, very fucking sad about Chris Cornell. Even all these years later, I'll never forget hearing about it. I mean, such a tragedy. One of the best fucking singers of all time, if you ask me. Drone by Fiddler. This is definitely raps F tier. Rocky Mountain Way by Joe Walsh. Kind of unbelievable to me that this was included in a wrestling game. Like 4 or 5 years ago, they went through a weird phase where they were including these random ass classic rock songs in the games. Now, and like I do like me some classic rock, but they just chose the weirdest shit. Like, why didn't they put like I don't know, put a band like Foreigner in there or hell, I'd even take like the Steve Miller Band or something. But like, so Joe Walsh, obviously his best work was with the Eagles. This song here, I mean, honestly, like Godsmack does it better than he does. I mean, it's just kind of generic and boring. I mean, the most memorable part of it is like there's like a talk box in it, but like who really cares? This is a D tier for me. Just it's such a whatever song, you know. You don't want war by Bumpy Knuckles, SVR 6. This is even worse than Bang Bang. It's F tier for me. Looking at it now, SVR 6 kind of had a shit soundtrack compared to all the other early games. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. I know that people love SVR 6. Honestly, I'm not that big on the game in general. I feel like the gameplay was a major step down from, you know, the original SVR. The only good thing about it was the introduction of GM mode. Um, but it's also probably like the worst GM mode, honestly. It's not enough of a challenge. It's so fucking easy compared to the other ones. Um, one of these days, I'm gonna have to make a video about like just ranking the SVR games and stuff. That would be fun. Shit, we're definitely gonna hit the 2 hour mark, but that's okay. I'm having fun. Um, Worked very hard arranging this list because it didn't exist on tierlist.com, so really happy it's here now. But I digress. So, the Champ by Ghostface Killa from SVR7. This is the token rap song that has to be included on every soundtrack for some reason. But I actually like it, believe it or not. I'm putting it in like low B tier. It's I mean the lyrical content's really dumb, but that's to be expected. It's got a fun beat and maybe nostalgia plays a part in it because I love SVR7 so much, but um no, that song is a jam for sure. Ric Flair Trip. Fuck this song. This is F tier. So dumb. So fucking dumb. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Um, Hybrid Moments by the Misfits. So the Misfits are. I don't even remember what game this is in. It's got to be a more recent one. But the Misfits are basically like your typical punk rock band. I'm gonna put it like an E tier. It just reminds me of like a Ramones song or something. Nothing special. Oh, here we go. Fucking Bring Me the Horizon again. F tier. This is Happy Song, which, oh, that song is horrible. I heard that song before I heard it in a wrestling game, and I just like the fact that they were once one of rock's most popular acts is very fucking sad because not only are they not talented, they're fucking passionless. They just like they don't make music from the heart, as far as I can tell. Just they're fucking pitiful. Shipwreck by Letdown. Don't remember. It's got to be rap. Shit, how many fucking rap songs do they have to put in these soundtracks? Like, I mean, like, it's getting ridiculous. Like, on average, they have like 12 songs per soundtrack. And I swear it's like at least 7 or 8 of them are rap. Like, not, especially like in a wrestling game. And I mean, like, I might be biased because, like, rock's my favorite genre in general, but it's just so fitting for wrestling. Maybe not the wrestling of today, and maybe that's the difference is that, like, wrestling's not hardcore like it used to be, so rock music doesn't really go anymore. Here we go. Now, talk about a song that goes hard. Go Hard by Nobody Famous. This is the best fucking rap song that's ever been in a wrestling game. And I'm not just saying that because it was an SVR 08. I'm going to explain why. So, this is A tier. The only fucking rap song you'll see in S tier, or not S tier, A tier. But there is so much passion and sincerity in what this rapper is saying. Um, the rhymes are very creative and clever and not expected. There's an actual electric guitar in this song, which is fucking badass. Um, the beats are great. They're kind of like more dance pop sort of synths, and I think that's really cool. There's like a lot of different genre fusing going on here, and and yeah, I guess the general theme of the song is basically just like the whole "I'm a badass, I'm the best" sort of thing, but he gets away with it here because it talks about like hard work and stuff and bettering oneself. So and there's an actual guitar solo in it. I think it's cut from the game version, which kind of sucks, but um no, that is a banger. I freaking love that song, man. It's genuinely one of the only rap songs I like listen to regularly. Dead Man Walking by Blood Simple. Holy shit, I forgot about this song. This is an A tier for me. Um just trying to figure out where I'm trying to keep these in order for the most part. It might be a little lower on the A tier. So like for instance, like Survive is my favorite song here, whereas You Make Me Sick is like lowest tier. So that's kind of how we're doing it here. But a Dead Man Walking, I mean, wow, what a so from a technical standpoint too, that song is hard to play. Like I play guitar and I've had a very hard time figuring that one out. The live version of this is even better. Now, this is a band I would never listen to. It's like a mix of like punk and metal, and the lyrics here are really like fucking disturbing, and I usually don't go for that, but it works here. Um it's such a fun song for a metal song. I mean, it's just and what I mean by fun is just like it's enjoyable. It's not doom and gloom. It's kind of like upbeat and something you could like vibe to even if like friends are around and stuff. So it's got a great guitar solo. I mean, it's just I mean, very like how do I put it? Like it's the composition of it is obviously really intricate and well thought out. I mean, it's not like your typical like new metal riffs and stuff. That there's actually a lot of creativity there with the guitar. So um and it just fits the game so perfectly, especially with like Undertaker and all the whole Dead Man Walking thing. Definitely fitting. We're getting close to the end here. Still Unbroken by Leonard Skinner. I mean, at one time I thought this song was kind of boring, but I'm gonna be honest, it's B tier. It really is because just trying to find a good spot for it. Yeah, like now the original incarnation of Leonard Skinner goes all the way back to the 70s, and I like a few songs, mainly Freebird. I never cared for like Sweet Home Alabama or anything, but like this isn't really Leonard Skinner. This sounds more like a modern band, as I don't think it's any of the original members. So I'm not that bothered by the whole like the fact they didn't change their name or anything. But um, it's a little bit on the countryside, but there's some rock elements. It's a pretty inspiring song. Um, I mean, I'm a sucker for these like get back up after you've fallen down sort of songs, and this song does that theme really well. The guitar works really good. No complaints with it at all. It's a little generic once again, but I don't even care. Just very solid. Fight by Olinder. This is from WWE 12, but this isn't like a instrumental. This is like kind of like with Revolution by Pennywise in WWE 13. Fight was the you know song they played in the intro, the song they used to promote the game and stuff. And now this band was known for a song in the late 90s called Why I'm Here, which I really like that song. It was kind of, inspired by Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana, at least in the riff and stuff. So, this band can put out a tune. Like they're pretty good, like post-grunge band, and this song has some great riffs. It's really fun and perfect for a wrestling game. I mean, they picked the right song here. Um, the production's really good for a band that I'm assuming has a low budget. So yeah, it's going in A tier for me. Maybe like lowish A tier, but A tier nonetheless. Bonfire by Knife Party. Is that the actual name of the group? Did I might have gotten that wrong. I don't know. But Bonfire is kind of that like dubstep song, which really grew on me. I found it irritating at first, but it's like high C tier. Um, I feel like it's kind of innovative for like a dubstep song. I feel like it's not the same like beats you hear all the time. It's a fun little party jam. I mean, nothing special, but good for what it is, I'd say. Till It's Gone by Yellow Wolf. I didn't like it. It's gonna be F tier for me. Lockjaw by French Montana, rap, F tier. Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars. Now, not the biggest Bruno Mars fan in the world. I really like that song Locked Out of Heaven. I feel like that's a really fun song. But this song, I enjoy it quite a bit. I'm contemplating whether it should be B or C tier because an argument could be made that it's B tier. Um, ultimately, I think I will go C tier because Bruno Mars is a bit of a generic vocalist, if you ask me. But with that said, this is a really well-written song. I mean, it's just the perfect pop song. I didn't even know of its existence until the game, actually. It sounds like something that would be in, like, a movie score. Um, yeah, just a perfect sort of but with that said, it doesn't fit, like, a wrestling game at all, and a better vocalist would have brought this to B tier, I feel. Nothing against Bruno Mars, but not quite sure if he was the artist for this type of song, but the song itself is a gem. Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth. I fucking hate Megadeth. I hate Dave Mustaine. Um, he's such a fucking loser. I mean, maybe that's not fair to say. I don't know the guy personally, but all he does is bitch about like the guys in Metallica, and then he makes this shit ass band that nobody respects, or maybe some people do. But so with this is F, obviously. It's like 10 minutes. It's boring. It's monotonous. I mean, just trash. Money in the Bank by Lil Scrappy. This is from SVR 7. This is probably the worst song in the game, but I don't even hate it. It's kind of hubris in a way. I mean, like it's not a good song, but it's like it's probably just become tolerable to me just from hearing it over the years and associating it with such good memories like playing SVR 7. So that's probably the extent to which I enjoy it. It's not as good as The Champ, I don't think. Rockstar by Post Malone. This is I was gonna put it in E tier because um it wasn't as bad as F tier songs, but I realize now that's not really a good standard for songs avoiding the F tier. If a song sucks ass, a song sucks ass. So this is F tier. I hate Post Malone. The Dirt by Molly Crew, F tier. Motley Crue sucks. I mean, I don't know how they ever got so popular. I understand it being critical about some of these songs, but um, when I say a band sucks, like I mean they suck to me. Like obviously they have some appeal, or they wouldn't have gotten popular, but the appeal has not reached me. Heartless by The Weeknd. Now I like The Weeknd. I think he has some really good songs. He's talented. Um, I'm not like a super fan or anything. This song I feel is just kind of typical of his style. It's nothing like that new or innovative, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Like it's yeah, I'd put it like kind of in the same category, Spit Out the Bone, where it's just like I don't want to say generic because I'm sure he put his heart and soul into it, but it doesn't feel like anything out of the ordinary. And once again, we've talked about this with like so many songs in the later games. Why is this song in a wrestling game? That just doesn't fit. Rap song F tier. Well, the Fs are filling up, but you notice with the exception of SVR 06 songs, all of these are from the later games. That really tells you a lot. Stand Up 8 Ball and MGG. This is from SVR 08. Once again, just the obligatory rap song they feel they needed to include even in the old days. This is the worst song in SVR 08, but it's not like that bad. I'm gonna put it in like, D tier. Um, I don't know. My thing with it is like it's just the lyrics suck and like the beat's okay. And I just feel like it just got overplayed in SVR 08. I don't know how the algorithm determines which song's gonna play when or if it's just randomized, but I feel like that song just played all the time and it got really old. Save Me by Burn Halo. This one really grew on me over the years. I don't think I liked it as much when I was younger, but it's B tier. Just trying to figure out a good spot for it. We talked about earlier when it comes to certain vocal performances, they need to have sincerity and conviction when talking about the lyrics and stuff. And I feel like this song does that and has a great guitar solo. And, Save Me might be kind of a generic song title and it's repeated a lot throughout the song, but it feels like a genuine cry for help. And very hard rock oriented. And I'm usually pretty partial to that style of music. Down from the Sky by Trivium. I like Trivium. I don't like everything they do, but I certainly like this song. Um, I think it's very innovative. There's a lot of different parts going on. It's almost a progressive sort of song. I'm gonna put it like in lowish B tier because the harsh vocals are a little grating for me sometimes and hard to listen to. I don't love his style of screams. That's why their album Silence in the Snow is my favorite and the only one I can listen to in its entirety because it's just all clean vocals. But yeah, definitely a very enjoyable track here. Horror Show, Gresby Race Nash. This is another WB12 instrumental. I'm putting this in A tier. I think it's very creative. Um, the guitars are hard hitting, the drums are really prominent, and it's a fun little rock song. It's definitely the most energetic of the Gresby Race Nash songs. Ready by B.O.B. Um, I'm very surprised I like this song, and I can't even really explain why I do, but I just do. It's gonna be B tier. Um, for a rap song, I just find it to be and the weird thing about it is like it's no different than any other rap song in terms of lyrical content or flow or delivery or beats. It must just be a nostalgia thing, but I feel pretty okay with that rating, like a low B tier. Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. I don't hate this song. It just falls in line with what I was saying earlier that like there's so many like random classic rock songs on these albums that aren't even like good. This is D tier for me. It's like not that big of a Billy Idol fan. That song sounds just like his other song, White Wedding. As that, I don't know. I don't get the appeal of him really. He's okay, I guess. This fucking Diddy song sucks. It's F tier. Soul Man by the Blues Brothers, maybe the most random song to ever be included in a wrestling game. I like it. It's C tier for me, probably around the same as It's Tricky, maybe a little bit better. Um, it was mainly for comedic value though, but I do like the song. It's kind of disco-y. On Retrofied by the Dillinger Escape Plan. This is from SVR 6. This one's like, it has its moments where it's decent. I'm gonna put it in E tier. Bring the Noise by Public Enemy and Anthrax. This is E tier too. This is from the original SVR. Um, the only thing I really like about it is the lead guitar, and I mean, it kind of has a okay vibe, just like the rest of the SVR soundtrack. But it's just, I don't know. It kind of bores me. It's too long and kind of boring. We're at the 2 hour mark here. If you've checked it out this long, thank you for sticking with me. This has been enjoyable. A little bit mentally taxing trying to remember these songs and stuff, but I mean, all these songs from S to B tier are just absolute bops. But anyways, so this is the last one from SVR07. It looks like Lonely Train by Blackstone Cherry, and this is definitely S tier for me. This is such a great song. Um, so yeah, there's a lot to like about this song. I like Blackstone Cherry a lot in general, but this song, this was kind of their breakthrough hit, and you can see why. What I like most about it is it has a very powerful message and stuff, and I like some of the analogies being used, even if they are basic. Like they can't judge a book looking at the cover, or you can't win a war fighting with your brother. Basically that whole chorus is just full of memorable quotes. Um, the instrumentals are super heavy for a radio rock song like this. Um, they have a very talented guitar player, and it's just a very well composed song. I like how it gets like slower in the bridge. This song is also super nostalgic, and every time I hear it, even though I haven't played SVR7 in a long time, I still like, that's the first thing that comes to mind pretty much. Wonderful Life, Bring Me the Horizon. I hate this song, F tier. I hate this band in general. I think that goes without saying. Another rap song, F tier. Oh, this song sucks. I remember this one. Ramen and OJ. We're gonna get all the rap songs out of the way. We're gonna go in reverse order here to end this. The 11th, because there's not many left. The 11th Hour by Rancid. This song would be better with any other vocalist. I'm putting it in D tier. I don't really like Rancid. The song itself seems like it would be pretty good if, like, say, I don't know, if Rise Against did it, it would be a banger, but the vocals suck pretty much. Revolution by Diplo, it's alright. E tier. Free by Rudimental. I'm gonna put it in C tier because I like it, and I might be a little biased to it. Because looking at it now, it seems like I enjoyed the WWE 2K15 soundtrack quite a bit, but it's kind of a basic song. Um, but I like its stripped back acoustic feel. It's just really weird being in a wrestling game once again. Heart of Evil, Gresby Race Nash. This is the final one from WWE 12. This is an A tier. It's really subdued and laid back compared to the other Gresby Race Nash songs in the game. this song was used in a promotional package, I remember, to promote Triple H and Undertaker's match at WrestleMania 28, and it's probably been used in various forms of media. It's just a really chill song, and a lot of ambient noises and stuff, just creative and experimental. And this isn't in the game version, but on the album version, it gets very intense and starts sounding a little bit like Pirates of the Caribbean. Like I said at the beginning of the video, definitely check out this guy if you get the chance. Has had an album called Apocalypse in 2010, which all of these songs were lifted from, and it's only 25 minutes, so it's pretty short, and just got a lot of enjoyable songs. Famous by Puddle of Mud. Um, I, when I was like a kid, I kind of liked some of the Puddle of Mud songs, and I still do. Like, I still really like Blurry and Drift and Die and stuff. But with this song and almost all the songs, their choruses, they literally have one chorus. All their fucking choruses sound the same. It's very aggravating. And this guy is a shameless Kurt Cobain wannabe, and he seems like a real fuck up too, for whatever that's worth. But with all that said, I like this song, Famous. I do. Now, granted, it was just like sort of an answer to Rockstar by Nickelback, which is kind of a sucky song. I'm gonna put this at like basically the top of B tier. I think it's a fun little jam, and it fits good in this game. It does, and there's probably some nostalgia involved. Seeing as I played SVR 08 a lot. Final song we're gonna talk about. I wanted to end this on a banger. That's "Addicted" by POD. Probably my favorite POD song, although I know maybe about like 5 songs they do. Um, just trying to find a good spot for it because I know it's going in A tier. So, this is a really good song. I'm not that big on them in general, but this song feels really sincere and heartfelt. Um, if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to the lyrics, he seems to be talking about being addicted to a person, not a drug necessarily, but I'm not 100% sure. SVR 9 had a really good soundtrack. But so basically, done with all the songs here. How many S tiers do we have? We had, it's like about 15. All right, that seems about right. A lot of them came on pretty early. Good amount in A tier and B tier. It seems like a good majority ended up in F, but those are all from the recent games. And then SVR 6 as well. So yeah, I mean, another time I will probably rank the soundtracks like from best to worst, but I can already tell you right now the best ones are SVR 07 and 08. Um, those were just like absolute, absolutely stacked from top to bottom. SVR 09 was pretty good too. They were on a good little stretch there, and then SVR 10 didn't really have a bad song either. That there was only 8 songs on that soundtrack though. WWE 2K14, interestingly, was the only soundtrack to not even have one original song. And ironically, that's probably like it's right up there for like my favorite wrestling games of all time. I mean, '07 and '08 are up there too. I actually really like SVR 11. The original SmackDown versus Raw is good, underrated. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up. Shut off the screen sharing. Wow, so we're at a little over 2 hours. Actually took a little longer than I thought, but um, glad I had the opportunity to do this. Um, Let me know if there's any other tier lists you would like for me to make in the future, and I will see what I can do. Been wanting to make this video for a while, so there's now 178 songs in WWE games, and I gotta thank like WWE games for turning me on to a lot of the music like that I like now. Like, um, Rise Against and Breaking Benjamin especially are two of like my favorite bands, and I discovered them because of SVR. 3 Days Grace as well, and Godsmack, Chevelle, numerous others. But probably those five are the ones I'm most into that I discovered from uh, wrestling video games. Oh, Zebrahead as well. I mean, fucking Zebrahead's great. Oh, and the Xyz, like they did a great job, uh, giving some uh recognition to like these like lesser known rock bands and stuff. That had to be a big break for those bands. I mean, what an opportunity if you're like a young band and you get to be part of like a wrestling game soundtrack. So many people are going to play those games and hear your songs, because I wouldn't have known the majority of these bands if it weren't for these games. So I'll always be thankful for that. And if like these rap songs and stuff, if they're introducing a new legion of fans to music they're gonna like for the rest of their lives, that's totally fine and good for them. But I'm just not really as in touch with it. Um, and like as you could see, I'm more partial to rock music anyway. But, anyways, that's just my thoughts and opinions and preferences when it comes to the WWE video game soundtracks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back with more videos in the future. I don't know when. That's kind of up in the air right now. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.